So main takeaways from VidCon. Keep creating content, make a lot of content, make it consistently, and make sure you are creating content that you love. This is only if you really want to make content. I mean, I may stop making videos completely after this. I don't know. Make mistakes. It's okay to grow and to learn and to experiment on YouTube. You're still figuring out who you are, and YouTube is this platform where you're human, and people respect that authenticity, and they want to see you grow and establish. To educate people, to engage with your community, to help your community grow and learn in that environment, to say, I think this, here's why, make these arguments. I think it's an important distinction, which I see in the marketplace of ideas, is to engage with the idea and not the person. This is the difference between an ad hominem attack and saying, I disagree with your idea, versus I disagree with you. People don't like being told they're wrong, and we do that all the time instead of saying your idea is wrong. There's that nuanced difference that kind of creates a different reaction. So if you want to take this opportunity to educate people, pay attention to that difference. Don't go on ad hominem attacks, don't retaliate or do naming and shaming. Truly try to educate and engage with the marketplace of ideas and an exchange of ideas of, I think this, here's why, and the ideas can compete then. There's also a lot of said, block haters. If people want to spew hate and threats, that's okay to block them, because that's not a part of a community, because YouTube and these communities are workplaces. They're places where you have to engage as a person and work. It's not necessary to you do not have to allow people to speak and say anything they want on YouTube. YouTube comments aren't necessarily held up to the free speech standard that other online platforms are. It's okay, people are allowed to moderate. And then finally, one of the best pieces of advice I think I heard was to set these community standards. So if you have a community and you have this following of people surrounding you, is to say, we don't believe this. This community leader said this is not acceptable. Why are you doing this? This is not acceptable within our community. And then the community kind of enforce itself, which is one of those great things I think is great, which is one of those things that I think is great. It make it a little weird, because then the community may be shaming, and you might get into this whole public shame thing that I talked about in way back in video 3. But it is a good way to use self-enforcement of setting a community standard and letting the community enforce these standards, so you don't have to go through and block every comment and downvote everything or moderate your own site. With the community moderates itself. If the community goes into shame, then I'm just really confused and I don't know what to do anymore. Overall takeaway, VidCon has been I'm looking down there because that's where the rest of the events are happening. VidCon has been very interesting. It's been a very different experience from the previous part of my project, where I was deep in the bad part of the internet, and now everybody's here like, the internet's great, YouTube is so cool, it seems like, why isn't everybody making YouTube videos? So it's very different, and I'm not sure what I think anymore. I'm really looking forward to when I finally get to go home and sit down and think, do I want to be a public figure? And I think it's something that most people nowadays should think about. Do I want to have a public Twitter account? Do I want to be a public figure making YouTube videos? Do I want to be a public writer? I think it's a very worthy thing that everybody in this generation needs to think about, because we're so connected to this public platform that is the internet, and whatever platform it is. And the internet is forever, so you have to think very cautiously and consciously about who we want to be online. That's it for today.